In December 2021, me, my then fiancé Louis and our cockapoo Nelson packed up our lives and moved from our 3-bed semi-detached new build to a 1970s huge renovation project. A renovation like this was never in our future plans, but when this opportunity presented itself to us, it felt like fate. So we jumped straight in with big dreams on what we planned to be our forever home. The house had only ever had one previous owner who bought it brand new in 1970 for £3,000. It was clear they took lots of pride in the home, however it hadn't been touched since the 70s and needed some serious TLC. We spent the first 6 months stripping wallpaper, pulling up carpets and trying to make the best of what we had until the building work could start. During this time we drew endless plans until we settled on the perfect layout for us. In May 2022, our extensions began and I'll never forget how exciting that day was. We were doing a single-storey rear extension and a double-storey side extension, taking the house from a 3-bed to a 4-bed with a large master suite spanning the full depth of the house. Louis and I have done a majority of the work ourselves, Louis doing the physical jobs and me doing the plans, room designs, decorating, things like that. Basically, he does the work and I make it look pretty. The extensions are the only thing we brought builders in for. Louis is an electrician, so he rewired the full house and our friend did all of the plumbing. Watching what we had poured our heart and soul into for so long come to life in front of us was amazing. Seeing the progress every day was so exciting, but it did of course come with lots of stress, mess and unforeseen costs. As the building work progressed, the house became harder to live in. We'd planned to continue living there throughout the whole renovation, but the conditions got so much worse than we were expecting, so we made the decision to move in with family temporarily. Little did we know we'd be there for the next 5 months. In order for us to do this size of an extension, we could only afford to get the shell done by the builders. So once the walls were built and the roof was on, the builders were done and we were completely on our own. Louis worked on the house after work every night to get the electrics and other internal jobs done. We ended up having to fit a brand new water pipe under the foundations of the house, which we did ourselves, and that set us back a couple of £1,000, but that's a whole other story. This was really only phase 1 of the renovations, so once the building work was complete, our budget was wiped. So we did jobs such as replacing the bath, as we knew it would be years until we could afford a whole new bathroom. We basically needed to do lots of small, temporary jobs to see us through to phase 2, which is pending. The day downstairs was plastered was a triumphant day to say the least. We could really start to see the layout of the house and how we would use the space. We spray painted all of the walls, chiselled up the old kitchen floor tiles as the screed just would not stick to them. We laid the entire downstairs floor ourselves and used a couple of my dad's old kitchen units to see us through. Things started slowly coming together, and as soon as we had heating, hot water and a bed, we moved back in. From that point onwards, we continued to work endlessly to make the house as much of a home as we could. Our budget was non-existent at this point, so we got a second-hand kitchen off Facebook Marketplace to see us through more long term. Did I mention we were also planning a wedding alongside all of this? This is where I really came into my own and I took a paintbrush to everything. I painted the stairs, the bathroom, the banister, the kitchen, the hallway, all to make this house feel like ours, feel like a home and like somewhere we wanted to grow our family. Then we got married. All the planning, the stress, the financial worry disappeared, and I finally married my soulmate. We had an amazing honeymoon, but jumped straight back into the reno and cracked on with the living room, which became one of the first rooms we actually completed downstairs. Then another huge milestone in our renovation journey, and one that I honestly thought we'd never reach, was getting our brand new dream kitchen. And this couldn't have come at a better time as our family was growing. Now to crack on with the nursery transformation. This room was bare and needed fully decorating. We painted, panelled, installed insulation under the floorboards, carpeted and filled it with furniture ready for our baby girl's arrival. As well as working on every other room of the house, of course, because Rome wasn't built in a day. I was fully in my nesting era and I painted until I could paint no more, which was around week 32 of my pregnancy, which is when Louis took over and we prepped what would be the playroom. And then in May 2024, along came Alma Daisy Dunning.